welcome to another Wraggys Beers, Wines and Spirits review on an absolutely gorgeous red hot day in the UK. Been to the theme park today, Alton Towers. It was a mixed bag really. It was okay, and then it went quite, we was peed off with the queuing and the loading of the rides, but it ended on a good note, so you know you can't fault it. I will put a complaint into Alton Towers about certain aspects, but there you go. So good evening rather, or good night. So it's from North Brewing Company. It's their Ornament, and it's a session Kveik ale, or IPA rather. 4.1%. I think I've done this the wrong way around. Good evening, mate. Yeah, I'm working tomorrow. Yeah. That's why I'm on a 4.1% now, because that 12% is, I'm steaming. One beer, wallet. Although I think the fact that I'm knackered as well, you know, probably makes it. So, oh dear, shit. The fuck's that? Up north somewhere. I will have a look actually. Leeds, based in Leeds. So that is unbelievable. I've never ever had a beer that's made a head like that. Well, I've actually got some beer in the pinter left over, so before I go up the house, I'll pour a pint out, get steaming, go up the house, fall asleep, and it'll be 5:30 in the morning. So yeah, a session Kveik IPA. Does it say anything on the back? I will read it. Does it bob? No, absolutely nothing. And yeah, I like the artwork. I thought it was okay, yeah, to be fair. The pinter. There's a way of abusing the system of the pinter to get more kits. So you get 2 kits with it. You put like someone who's bought it before, like myself. They give you a code. So if I tell you my name, it's always somebody's name. My name being Billy and Rag, W-R-A-G-G. If you was to buy the pinter, put my code in, you get another free kit. So you get 3 free kits. And then you get the first month subscription. So you get the glass and another kit, which is 12 quid. But then you can tell your mates, whoever's going to buy it, to put your name. And it's a bit like a pyramid scheme where you keep telling people to use your name. They get a beer, you get a beer. All good. So in that respect, it's not so bad. You can't beat good Ed, yes. One does agree totally. Look at the state of that. Jesus Christ. So, whilst that does whatever it does, good evening, Tad. How are we, matey? And are we sober? Was the beer tasty? From oh, something's gushing. Let me just twin check. The hose pipe's gushing. Okay, now. Oh yeah, okay. Oh, bastard. Fucking hell. That 12% hit me like a bastard. One does apologise. So the hose pipe was left on. Oh, fuck me. I have not turned it off by the tap. So I've gone outside and I went to it. It fucking went apart. So I'm fucking soaked on my legs. Put the hose pipe on the grass. And then I fell over on the fucking outside. Go and shit outside. Don't be pooing in here. Out. Dog. Yeah. It was outside. Fucking hell, steaming. Good evening. Oh dear. I've got, my feet are wet. I tripped over the box on the decking. Time for a beer. And I've only had one beer. I think it's the can. I think it was ready to come out. And so beautiful aroma on this. That 10% after a long day in the sun has walloped me. Yeah. It's certainly absolutely given me a good hiding. We all have them beers when you drink one beer at the wrong time, it gives you a slap. And I don't mean just a slap. You drink one beer and you're steaming and you're like, what the fuck? How am I steaming on one beer? And you think to yourself, there's no way. Don't matter if it's 12% or 5%. There's always been an occasion you'll drink a beer and it wallops you. And it's like, I can go downtown and drink 10. I can one beer wallop me. That one beer has just done it to me. It's coming down there. So pour a bit more in. Yeah, there we go. That's a proper head. None of this 1 centimetre heads. We want a decent head on our beer. Now put it there because I'll drink it out of the can. Much easier. That you can really smell that Kveik. When you do Kveik, it looks like you need a flake in there. Yeah, it's definitely quite a bit of foam in there. So, for those in the UK, who's up for the 10 Old Tom challenge? And more importantly, where the hell, at this moment in time, can you actually get 10 Old Toms? As far as I know, I'm 7 off the 1800 where I said I was going to do an Old Tom challenge. Yeah. It's funny how that extra ABV, I can get 10. I should be able to get 10 Old Tom, either from Tesco's or Asda, 4 for £6. I'm sure. I'm sure it's in B&M. Because the more of us that join in, not just for this channel, but as a community thing, could you imagine multiple streams on StreamYard across the beer review network? If I'm doing Old Tom though, I'll make sure I have a good dinner beforehand and an easier day at work. Certainly not a day when I've been on theme parks all day and you know, where your mind's already blown. Could you imagine if Wales, England and Scotland get through? Has anybody done I don't, you know, with on these wall charts, if England, Scotland and Wales were to get through, could there be a situation where there's the quarter finalists, or England, Scotland and Wales could be quarter finalists, were we so lucky? Could you imagine that? That would be the biggest, you know, 2 fingers to the US to Europe that you could ever imagine. It'd be quite funny. Doubt it though. But you never know. I did notice, Dave, that you posted was that the good brewer's wife as well in your photos? What was that about Northern Ireland? To be fair, you know, when I last went to London, Derry, I know you call it Derry. Good evening, Rod. A bit late for me, a bit early for you. Or should I say mid-afternoon now, isn't it? 5 o'clock-ish. Depends on what side of America you're on, obviously. Oh, cracking day, mate. You know, it's good to get back on the theme parks. Good to enjoy, you know, a bit of outside world, seeing people, bit of banter in the queue lines, as you do. meeting up with people from England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland, chatting to people. Because you're in the queue lines and you just natter, don't you? I certainly do. I don't care who I talk to. And especially when you're moaning about the people being slow sorting out the queues. But yeah, cracking day. Just a shame we won't go back to work tomorrow. 5:42. Oh, plenty of time for drinking. Bless you. Yes, just starting. I've actually only just started now, to be fair. So it's second beer of the day. Yes, it's God knows what time it is. I think it's about 10:15. No. Second beer in and steaming. Off work. Fair play. I need to start slapping some holidays in because I have got quite the backlog of holidays to book in. And I don't want to be booking them all in during the colder months of the year. But then again, I suppose for me, working the hours I do, being off in the colder months is nicer to me. You know, especially when winter kicks in. No screens at Alton Towers. When I was at Fort Park, they had it in the dome, in the central dome bit at Fort Park for the World Cup. There was about 4,000 of us watching it. I'll tell you, that's no estimate. You couldn't get a seat on the floor. It was rammed to the hell. And all watching England versus Sweden. Amazing. You know, the atmosphere was unbelievable. We won, and then we all went back onto the theme park. Great. It was awesome. A local brewery out of Chicago. My brother, so he was my mum gave away a boy at birth, and obviously the society 40-50 years ago was very different to today's societies. I presume both in America and the UK. She gave a boy away. He got adopted, and he's actually living in Chicago now. He works for McDonald's. I think he's an accountant for McDonald's. He's very high up in McDonald's. Yeah, and I bet he eats the odd of McDonald's as well. And his wife, she's from Chicago, and she works as a nurse in a hospital in Chicago. Don't ask me the hospital, but they've got a lovely house over there, and they've invited me across at some stage to Chicago. But you know, it's obviously a lot of it's money and that getting across. You know, it's not easy, especially with COVID going off and so much uncertainty in the world. One day though, we'll get to Chicago and go and see them, and go in here and listen to his fake American accent, because he's got this American thing going on. He's like an English American. It's like he's English, but there's an American tinge to his accent. It's ever so funny when you listen to him. So nice to have a late night get together. And sometimes, you know, these late night get-togethers are a good thing. Yeah, in Chicago for St. Patrick's Day, they dye the river. I presume it's a river. I've seen the photos. They dye the river green for St. Patrick's Day. And what amazes me is that our patriotic countries are that aren't the actual real country. Yeah. And my God, I do apologise. I'm absolutely knackered, but also half drunk. After one beer, sadly enough. In Chicago the other year, they sent me a video. It was in the middle of winter. She had a jug full of hot water. She chucked it in the air, and it was something like -20 or something daft, and it fell as wasn't steam, but it'd gone from hot water straight away to basically cold. It was unbelievable. I can't wait to get back over to Northern Ireland. It's been far too long. No, I didn't know that, matey. No, I didn't know that at all. Obviously, being English, and I'm not religious in any way, shape, or form. Religion has no interest to me, you know, and conflicts and that, you know. But obviously, I respect what people do. That's up to them. But I forgot where I was going now. Yeah, Protestant. My wife's Protestant, but obviously, not that it means anything. It's a religion, you know. A German heritage. It's amazing how the world is, isn't it? You know, it's the world needs to get along a lot more than what it does. That's for sure. You know. But I suppose a lot of it's politics in the world. A lot of it's nothing to do with us, not the normal people. A St. Wraggys Day. Could you imagine? Jesus Christ, we'd all get them pissed up. There'd be a 10 Old Tom challenge across the world. Wow. Be good for Robinson's Brewery. I'd have to buy shares. But could you imagine that? Or a 10 Duvel challenge. 105.9% challenge. I'm not going down the mathematics. I wasn't the one who invented the mathematics in that equation. Biggest Oktoberfest outside of Munich. Awesome. Awesome. So, lovely hoppy beer this is. Hoppy, hazy, would you call it yellow? It's some sort of yellowy. It's very, do any of the people who drink beer look at colours and think, how the hell do you call this a colour? A Hofbrauhaus, bless you. I actually, yeah, yeah, definitely book the day off after. Yeah. No one wants to be going work after 10 Old Toms. Exactly. Pray to the beer, you know. This is what we ought to be doing. Might have to invent straw. You class it as straw. That's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting at what colour we class things. Do we need a beer church? You know, Reverend Kveik from Kent preaching with his white collar on, preaching about the beer. I tell you what, it could be amazing, couldn't it? Hey? You've got the Star Wars fans, they've got the Jedi, and we've got the beer. The beer is our Lord. Yeah. Fuck it. Awesome, wasn't it? Hey, what's your religion? Beer. Yeah. All hail the Imperial Stout, leader of the world. Oh dear. You won't think I'm on this. This is only my second beer of the day, would you? Bless you, Rod. Bless you. You have my humblest best wishes for that. Could you imagine, eh? I mean, really, you could really. I tell you what. As parodies go, you could be absolutely awful on parodies, taking the piss out of actual religions with beer religion. I know. Second beer of the day. Shocking. Next one's going to be off camera. I'm going to drink the rest from that pinter because tomorrow night I've got a gardening job. 3 hours. Ouch. And good evening. I don't understand that. Could be calling me a cunt in that conversation in that, but good evening anyway. Yes. Raggy went up to the pub. and Raggy chose a beer. All hail that beer. Yes, it was a nice 5% IPA. Yes. I've got a Belgian Saison in the pinter. Yeah, 4%. To be fair, it worked out pretty well. Economic wise, if I was to get 2 pinters, 1 brewing dock, and then brewed it myself in my fermentation buckets, transferred 20 pints to the pinters, that to me is a better way of brewing. Start to finish, you can do it in 7 or 8 days. You can. 8 days from start to finish. 4 days brewing, 3 days conditioning. Most people take a week of brewing and about 4 days conditioning, just to get it over the line. There are things you can do better. The instructions on the pinter site aren't that great, to be fair. So you have to tweak. If you've already homebrewed, you'll be thinking, when you read the instructions, you'll be thinking, why don't you add hot water to the sterilising fluid to dissolve the sterilising fluid? There's no mention of hot water, which is weird, because you need to dissolve the sterilizer to make the sterilizer work. 2 beers in, steaming. What the hell? I don't know about great. I don't think I'm great in no terms. I mean, it was nice. It was lovely to be on Window Beer Reviews channel the other night and do an interview. It was strange. It was different. I did struggle with the accent at times, and I did say that to him as well. I will struggle with the Irish accent. I do when I'm over there. But yeah, it was different. Oh. So I'm at the end of my drinking already. 2 pints in, not even 2 pints, because that's not a pint. Seven off. Before I came on this beer review tonight, I jumped up to 1.93. 7.93. So there's only 7 to go. Good on you, mate. I think it's a load of shit. Let's be fair. Good evening, mate. As a white person, I don't agree with any racism in the world. There's no need for any racism. Racism is an old thing that should have been stopped years ago. It's disgusting. Nobody needs to read about racism. It's wrong. These idiots doing some of the chants, you look at them and thinking, what brain have you got? The only thing I care about is good people and bad people. If the knee was for good against bad, fair play. But it's a political knee. There's no place for it in any sport. Whether you agree with it or not, we all should have the ability to say what we say. Obviously, we've all got an opinion, and we should all be allowed to say our opinions, whether I agree or don't agree, or whether other people agree or don't agree. Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? It's nice. Political, yeah. We can't bring politics into sport. Yeah. The only problem in the UK, it seems to be just about BLM, which I know a lot of my friends who are black don't agree with anyway. And so in the UK, it doesn't mean the same as in America, which is really, really strange. It doesn't mean anything to do with military. If it did, we'd all be supporting it, because supporting our fallen military is something we can all get behind. It's strange how it differs from country to country. Yeah. It's funny that, isn't it? In America, politics. In the UK and mostly in Europe, it's not off to that. Shed head cider 6.2%. Was that the person on your photo? Was that the landlady of the pub you was at, Mr. Goathead? I did look at the photos a few times. They're sitting down. Yeah, I mean, we don't want politics. We don't want politics in sports. If it's politics for good, then fair play. Yeah, I know you took the photo, separate photo. I'm not saying that on air. Too many people watching. So yeah, it's going down well. Now the head's dissipated. It's going down really well. North Brewing Company, based out of Leeds. I've only actually been to Leeds once. Yeah. Drove by at 153 miles per hour. Well, I wasn't driving. Some bloody idiot was. And I was a passenger. 100 gallons at a time. Fair play there. It's 25 degrees in the UK. Well, it was earlier. It is in the beer room. 25 degrees in the beer room. If the knee gesture was changed to something to represent the good people in the world, none of us would have any problems with that, would we? You know, good over evil is always the way forward. Good evening, David. How are you? Bit of a late night review. One does apologise, you know. Theme parks. You've got to go on them, haven't you? I bet it was a good England match this afternoon, though, wasn't it? You know, watching them score the goal and then holding on for the winner. Fahrenheit converter. So, Fahrenheit is, hold on a minute, 77. Yeah, it's going to be a rough night trying to get to sleep. Might have to have another beer. Off camera, though, you know. I've got some in the pint, I need to neck. And then I've got some homebrew as well, just to top up. One needs to sleep. I've got to go up for 5:30 in the morning. Can't be lying there and not getting no sleep. So, it's nice. It's hoppy. It's easy drinking. She's not asleep yet. No. She'll be waiting for me to come in. She will. Yeah. The Mrs. Wraggy watches the Mr. Wraggy. Yes. We've had a good day today, though, you know. We had a little friend with us. And, you know, here's a story that'll put a little bit of cockles, you know. Here's a story. 90. Oh, Rod. Whew. So, I have a boy who's got autism. And he was being bullied at school. And the little lad who was bullying him, it was over football. He was calling him and that. He was being quite rude and awful to him. And basically, he was bullying my son. And we went up to the school. We complained. And then they become, in the last year since COVID, they've become the best of friends. And my son is a confirmed autism, you know, on the autism spectrum radar, you know, whatever they call it in the UK. And his little mate, and he's a little black boy, and he's got autism, but he's not going through the treatment that my son gets. And you know, they're the best of mates. And today, they've had the best of days. And this little boy today is a year older than my son. Kids can be cruel, yeah. But this little boy, being with us all day today, seeing things from, I don't know, maybe a different background to what he's used to with his mum and dad. although his mum's a teacher. I'm not sure about his dad. But he's got autism as well, in a different way to my boy. And he's seen us today. We've been on theme parks, been on the rides. He's seen a mum and dad who invest in their son, and time, energy, and that, and who have got a general love of theme parks together. And he's joined in our family unit, and he's had a fantastic day. And you can't fault it. You really can't. That's what human beings are all about. Doesn't matter about your colour, skin, fuck all like that. Do you know how many of us are adults that don't realise that we are on the autistic spectrum radar, or whatever they bloody call it? I know that I've got traits that are autistic. I know I have. And that you wouldn't think it. No. In England, we don't get me out of no red cards, no. If I go back up the house now, steaming and pissed up, I'm still in the bollocking, yeah. But I didn't get home till late, so fair play there. Yeah. And it's only the second beer of the night, to be fair. So, it's good to see that we won. And cracking day. As a weekend goes, I've had one of the best weekends in a long time. 2 gardens done. Went out. Went to a local tap room. My first ever tap room. Can you imagine somebody who's been beer reviewing now for nearly 3 years, who's drinking since he was earlier than 18, let's put it that way. And I went in my first ever tap room on Saturday, and I got served by the head brewer and his good lady in the tap room. They didn't recognise me, even though I've reviewed many of their beers. And then I gets home, posted that I'd gone to this particular tap room. Life, yeah, definitely, life's about enjoying. This particular tap room, one of my other mates chirped in and says, "Oh yeah, that bloke who's at the tap room, the head brewer, yeah, he's one of my best mates. I've known him all my life." And it's like, what a bloody small world it is. So one of my mates is also one of the best mates, who's actually the tap room / brewery owner. And it's like, Jesus Christ, what a small world. What a very small world we live in. It's funny, isn't it, at times, how small the world can be. Yeah. Which is why it's always good to be honest, true to yourself, because you never know when you drop a bollock and somebody knows everything about you, because they know you more than you realise you know. There's a thing. Oh. Which is why I never lie, because lying, if you lie, you're going to get caught out. Fantastic day, matey. Brilliant day at Alton Towers. We had a bit of an issue with Aston Towers. Aston Towers? Well, you're a Birmingham fan. I thought you was a Derby fan. Tut. But yeah, good day. Apart from a bit of queuing on Oblivion and fast passers. These bloody fast passers. I'm sure they give them out to every idiot. And yeah. And I am complaining to Alton Towers about that. Going to try and get some free tickets, as you do. Yes, one more late on Kveik. Wraggys Towers. I enjoyed the day, to be fair. It wasn't a cheap day, We're talking close to 200 quid for 4 of us. With food, drinks. Yeah, food and drinks. Yeah, and then when you see them all passing you, and you see the trains half empty, it's like, well, not even half empty, they were a quarter empty. It's like, come on, you're taking the piss now. Good evening, Adam. Are you back home, matey? You look great yesterday, by the way. Good to see you all in Bristol. Can't wait for Nottingham. I think it's going to be a great adventure. Not only, even if the beer festival doesn't go ahead, tap rooms, there'll be enough for 2 days in tap rooms. Tap rooms, brewery tours. I think we could have a great 2 days. And more importantly than anything, a great laugh and a good bit of banter. Got home before 6. Yeah, I got home at 9:45. Yeah, it's been a long day. Although Alton Towers, brilliant. Had a cracking day. Can't wait to go to Paulton's Park in 2 weeks. Blackpool in a few weeks. Nottingham will be good. Oh yeah. 4 days. Bless you. Yes, you might have to come round to the Wraggy household for one of those nights, of course. Been a cracking day. When the weather's this good, you can't fault it, can you? Let's hope the idiots pack the music in at a fair time, because one needs to get to sleep tonight. Can't be done with idiots with music. So, 35 minutes in, and the aroma is absolutely... Oh, you was hungover, was you? I'm not surprised. Jesus Christ, you lot can neck some shit. Was the good lady, was that Rob's girlfriend, by the way? Just being nosy and out of curiosity? Or was it just a lady that is a part of the beer community? Just being nosy bleeder, because I'm nosy. Yeah. It's a Nottingham thing. Well, it's a Wraggy thing. Well, it's a me thing. I don't give a shit. Ah, I thought it. That's why he disappeared early then, eh? Hey. So I just asked what you was thinking, Dave. She's the barley wine queen. Oh, is she now? I've seen people liking her. Righty-o. She looks a lot younger in real life than she does on Twitter. Although, I've not seen a lot of her on Twitter, to be fair. I've seen 1 or 2 photos, but I didn't really take a lot of notice. But now I notice, right, it's a small world, isn't it? We're just talking about small world. And I tell you what, I know a song about that. So, if you're on YouTube, everyone, and I'm sure Rod J will know this song. If you go to Disney, or if you type in It's a Small World, and go for the song, It's a Small World After All. It's a Disney song. Go and listen to that song a few times. It's one of them songs you'll remember forever. You'll never leave you. It's a Small World After All. Yeah. If you've ever been to Disney, you'll know the song. And yeah. Yeah. I'll put it on my YouTube feed one day. And and my sister in Birmingham, she says, thank you for that. 2 days later, I still couldn't get that song out of my head. And yeah, it's a small world after all. It's a small world after all. To be fair, Craig never said that he was going either. I didn't know Craig was going. But good for Craig. Don't you agree, Adam, that it was good for him to get out with mates? And from a personal point of view, you know, after the tough year the bloke has had, he's a good lad. And, you know, that getting out with mates brings normality into life. And fair play on him, you know. And last night, as a host, doing your late night jobber, he did well. I don't know, mate. It was some shit in the background. Couldn't fucking know. I didn't know any of it. It was some random crap. I could hardly hear myself talk. Somebody on one of the reviews says, couldn't hear a word of your review. I was trying to be not too loud, but loud enough to be heard. Yeah, I've seen that as well. Yeah. And he certainly didn't give it away. Fair play to him, though. He's a good one. And I'm glad he met up with you all, because, you know, most people, to recover from circumstances, it's a big thing to recover. And for him to do that, it's done him a world of good. And I need to kill this review off, because it's late, getting later. 37 minutes the last review, 39 minutes this review, 1 hour 16. Yeah, no, not much longer. and then we'll let our good American friends take over for the next 8 hours, depending on what side of America you're based on. Keep the beer review people happy. Did he? Fair play to him. I must get something like that, to be fair, one of these. Very well, matey, thank you. Second beer of the day. First one was a big 12%. I'm sure Adam would appreciate this beer. That was number one. 12% chocolate salty balls. No, I'd like to go. I'd like to go to all the breweries, to be honest. You know, it'd be amazing. Yeah, Sheffield. Yeah, I know Callum's in Sheffield. There was a Callum in Sheffield. There's one in Newark as well, where I work at. But yeah, I'd like to go there, definitely. Yeah, but this town's all year round. I never actually go white. Or not a shade of white that you'd probably know as white. I need to go around the country doing beer reviews, I do, yeah. Or at least half coherent beer reviews. We're not loud music in the... I'm not really keen on loud music, to be fair. I like music in the background. Sometimes music's good because while the music's on, you ain't got somebody at the side of you on the table looking over when you're doing beer reviews. That's what happened yesterday. All of a sudden, thank you. All of a sudden, that my wife says the whole table was looking at you. I started doing the beer review, and then the whole table was staring at me doing the beer review. I couldn't see him because all I'm looking at is the camera. But apparently there was, and it was tad on the embarrassing side. And yet, when I've had a few beers, I don't give a shit. You know, I don't give a monkey's who's watching. And in fact, if I'm doing a beer review and I'm drunk or half drunk, I'd be like this: good evening, everyone. Come and join in the beer review. But that's when you've had a drink. You don't care when you've had a drink, obviously. 28 degrees in Bristol. Whew. Thankfully, in Staffordshire today, it was only 24. We didn't get to 27, thankfully, because that's too warm for me. Yeah, too warm. So, hazy. Yeah, you've got to be careful. Mobile reviews. Yeah, get free phones. I'd be up for that. Hazy yellow straw coloured pour, whitehead. Hoppy nose. That Kveik really does come through. For me, a nice subtle session IPA, 4.1%, not too taxing, easy drinking. Out of 5. Would I drink it again? No, not really, because I don't need to. It's not a beer I would actually go to again. I find that most of the beers that I would actually go to again come in bottle form for whatever reason. Out of 5 for me, again, probably about a 4.2 out of 5. If scores really mean that big a deal in the grand scheme of things. Right, got to run. Off steaming. I can't even see how many people are watching. I'm sure it's 21. Yeah, that's what most beers are about. Most beers are about just ticking one off the list and seeing what's out there, reducing the beer wall. Although the beer wall is going to swell. I've got Father's Day coming up this weekend. I've got my birthday coming up the weekend after. I've got some money earners coming in. So it's going to be, the beer wall is going to swell again, thank God. And yeah, thank you. And thank you everyone for watching, commenting, liking, subscribing. And you know, it's God knows what time it is, gone 11 I presume now. And lots of home brew, lots and lots of home brew, especially for those coming up in October. Oh. Right, time to go to bed. Got to get up at 5:30 in the morning. No more drink. 2 beers in, steaming on 2 beers. Ridiculous, just ridiculous. Right, ready for another now. Job's a good one. I've got some pint of beer to get out of the way, and see you later. Good evening all, and great win for England today. Cheers. Let's hope the Scottish can do well tomorrow. We want England, Scotland, Wales through, don't we? Yeah, just to beat the Scottish, you know, when it means it. Cheers.